Welcome, everyone, to our December 8th, 2025 regular council meeting. We're going to begin with our caucus. There are no motions. There are 11 first readings. There are 7 first reading passage requests. 2025-354. Heidi Swindell to address council.
Thank you. Heidi Swindell, Summit County Engineer's Office. This piece of legislation allows us to enter into a memorandum of understanding with the Summit County Health Department. They were holding individual agreements with each township and then Reminderville and Lakemore for water testing of the outfalls, sampling, and reporting services. They will still provide those services, but now that we have the Surface Water Management District all under one umbrella, the county will take over. We'll just have the one contract that covers 11 communities. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Do we have any questions for Heidi? Thank you, Heidi.
Thanks.
And Merry Christmas, okay? Next, we have 2025-355, Holly Miller. Is Kim here? Okay. Yes. Okay.
Holly Miller, Department of Community and Economic Development. As you all know, we had a contract with Direction Home using some ARPA funds to provide meals to the seniors that income qualified. That program is ending as of 12/31. We do have some funds that are left, and we're adding about $1 million, and we're adding some community development block grant funds to that million to make it $1.5 million. As you know, CDBG funds cannot be used inside the cities of Akron, Barberton, or Cuyahoga Falls. So any residents residing outside of those areas that have already been receiving services, meals only, that are at or below 80% of the area median income will continue to receive those meals. We would like to have a contract with Vantage Aging to do this new program. So the new program is called Summit Senior Meal Service, SSMS. You know, we all love our acronyms. So this is the same clients as long as they are at or below 80% of the area median income. So it's not to exceed about 156 clients. And our hope is that as Vantage Aging is our partner, we will continue these services for those individuals. This is not for new applicants or new residents. However, we'll also be looking, is there another place that these individuals could get meals? If they're a veteran, transition them over into veterans. If they're eligible for Medicare, Medicaid, transition them into those services. So this will allow us another year of providing meals to those individuals that are already receiving services. Our department will be doing the income qualifying. We are sending out letters this week with pre-filled applications for those that we believe are at or below 80% of area median income. So it will be a very low barrier for them. They're just going to review what we pre-populated for them in the application, sign it, and send it back. Those that are above 80% will be getting a letter that the program ended on 12/31, and they're not eligible for services under the new program. Unless their income has changed and they believe they now income qualify, they can reach out to us and we'll send them an application. With that, I'm going to turn it over to Vantage Aging to kind of tell you about what their process is going to be and give you some information on their programming.
If you don't mind, I'm going to read a little bit here because I'm not as polished as Holly is. Good evening. My name is Kim Ventresca. I'm the CEO of Vantage Aging. I'm really grateful for the opportunity to speak with you all today in support of this resolution. For 50 years, Vantage Aging has served older adults in Summit County through home-delivered meals, congregate dining, and supportive services that help people remain safely in their homes. Every day, our team delivers more than just a meal. We deliver safety checks, social connection, and critical nutrition that help prevent hospitalizations and long-term care placement. Today, our meal delivery program serves thousands of residents across multiple counties, many of whom are managing chronic health conditions, mobility limitations, or fixed incomes. We provide carb-controlled and special diet meals, wellness checks during delivery, and consistent follow-up with participants to ensure services remain appropriate as needs change. If this resolution is approved, our approach with these new Summit Meal Delivery Program clients will be seamless and client-centered. Each participant will receive an individual intake assessment. While meals are often the entry point, our client services team is specially trained to identify additional needs, particularly those needs that might be a risk for their social determinants of health. When we identify those needs, we don't just note them, we actively connect residents to resources through trusted community partners. We've done this without a funding source. This is just best practice. One of the ways we do this efficiently is through Unite Us, the shared referral and care coordination platform that I'm sure you're all aware of that is used across Summit County. We were early adopters of Unite Us. We receive referrals for meals and our other programs, and we will utilize this platform to make outbound referrals for these additional Summit County clients on our roster. This ensures real-time coordination and reduces duplication across services and systems. We provide meals through a mixed delivery model that uses both trained and paid drivers and a strong core of the most dedicated volunteers. Even though we have over 200 volunteers who've been with us for many years, we can always use more. Just a little plug there. Hold on, let me find my place. Just as important as kind of making sure that we're efficient with what we do, we have already been serving some of the residents that are on this Aging in Place program. So the good news is we're uniquely positioned to make this transition pretty smooth. There's going to be no new learning curve for our vulnerable older adults, just continued reliable access to meals. So, in closing, this program directly supports what your own survey confirmed. 96% of older adults in Summit County want to age in place. Home-delivered meals are one of the most proven cost-effective tools we have to make that possible. On behalf of the older adults we serve every day, we would be deeply appreciative of your support and passage of this resolution. Thank you for your leadership, your partnership, and your continued investment in the health and dignity of Summit County older adults that we serve. Thank you. Yes.
Thank you. Mr. White.
Sure. We can do either. So that intake assessment will help us determine the kinds of meals that, one, they've been receiving, that they'd like to receive, and then make sure that we can do that in a way that certainly if they're receiving, let's say, 3 meals in one day, we would deliver all of those at once in that day, and then we would make sure that some of those would potentially be frozen to be reheated. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
There was a concern at the time for meal programs that they could be culturally specific. So, for example, if the elderly were Asian, there's certain dietetic things that they have in their culture that they prefer. Will this program address any of that, or is it just pretty basic, or how does that work?
We really do try to stay as client-centered as we can. So when we go through that intake assessment, we really do try to meet the needs. But I will say that we do purchase our products in bulk, and we do have a menu, a monthly menu, but we do make changes within that menu based on what the people need. So, you know, I can tell you that our client services team is really used to doing this and working, like I said, individually with folks. So we'll do the best we can to meet the needs as they come up.
Great, thank you.
Yeah,
And you said you weren't as polished as Holly, but you did an excellent job explaining the program.
Well,
So
thank you. Thank you very
So
much.
I do want to add, I do want to add that it is 3 meals a day, 7 days a week is what we've budgeted. So it's going to be up to Vantage Aging to determine, do they need 3 meals? Do they need 2 meals? Like she said, do some of them need to be frozen? But the budget for the 1.5 is 3 meals a day, 7 days a week. So they will be revisiting, and it's one provider. Unlike the previous provider in the previous program, we had multiple providers. So they have one provider, and they will be doing their own assessment. So if a client was only receiving 2 and they need 3, they have the ability within that budget to do that. If a client starts with only 2 meals or maybe even 1 meal, something happens in that client's household where they now need additional meals, they have the ability to make that change.
Holly, just for context, you had mentioned that there were some communities that were outside of the scope of what you're talking about today. Again, just for context, Can you elaborate on that issue and why? Like, so there's communities that don't fall into it. I just want to make
So
sure that people understand why.
So the Community Development Block Grant funds cannot be spent in the cities of Akron, Barberton, or Cuyahoga Falls because they are their own entitlement communities or participating jurisdictions. So they receive their own funding from HUD, and it's up to them as part of their 5-year consolidated plan how they want to spend those funds. So residents that live outside of Akron, Barberton, Cuyahoga Falls, or ABCs, will be receiving their meals and will be using Community Development Block Grant funds to pay for those meals. Residents that live inside of Akron, Barberton, or Cuyahoga Falls will receive their meals, but we will be using the ARPA funds to pay for those meals.
Thank you.
I'm sorry if I missed this, but is there a certain, meal delivery provider that we're using? Because I know it's pretty labor intensive to have volunteers to deliver the meals.
Correct. So we have a combined workforce of paid drivers and volunteers across many counties. We will be utilizing paid drivers for these routes in Summit County. We actually have the capacity to produce many more meals and deliver a lot more than we do. We just don't always have the funding for it. So this is actually a really good opportunity to meet sort of capacity with funding. But yeah, we're in the process right now of actually hiring some additional drivers, as well as obviously always looking for volunteer drivers. But we find that the paid drivers certainly are the ones that are going to be the more reliable everyday folks. I mean, please don't, I'm not disparaging our volunteers. I just want to say that they're fantastic, but and very devoted. But yeah, we're going to be using paid drivers for these routes.
Are there any further questions? Thank you.
Thank you.
Next is 2025-356. Joe Eckenrod is here to address council.
Good afternoon, Joe Eckenrode, Physical Plants Department under the County Executive's Office. This legislation is to put together a construction contract to modernize the elevators at the Ohio building in the portion that we call the A building, which is the 8-story portion of the building. There's 2 elevators. We're going to modernize them, which is going to upgrade key components like the controllers, motors, door operators, and also the cab interiors. 6 bid packages went out. We received 2 back. The most responsible and responsive was 8% over the engineer's estimate, but we're going to recommend the Murphy Contracting Company for this contract, and I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Council have any questions? Thank you, Joe. Next, we have 2025-357. Colleen Sims is here to address council.
Hi, I'm Colleen Sims. I'm with the County Executive Department of Law and Risk Management, and I'm here to present legislation for inmate communications at the Summit County Jail for a 3-year contract from January 1st, 2026 through December 31st, 2028. This will provide ideally a tablet for every inmate. We put a request for proposals in August of this year, and we received 3 proposals back. Smart Communications IC Solutions, which is our current vendor, as well as Consolidated Telecom. And although Smart Communications did score the highest, one of the biggest issues was the amount of guaranteed commission. In this contract, they pay us a set amount. And Smart Communications' minimum guarantee was $500,000. IC Solutions, our current vendor, was $800,000. And after tabling Smart Communications at the Board of Control, we had a meeting with Finance and Budget and the Sheriff's Office. And Smart Communications, that cut would probably lead to cutting some staff that provide services to the inmates. So both were presented to the Board of Control, and Board of Control chose, as they are authorized to do, they rejected Smart Communications bid and chose IC Solutions, our current vendor. And I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Does council have any questions? Thank you. Next, we have 2025358, Andrea, hi, Andrea. I was going to say, where'd she go?
Hi, good afternoon, everybody. Andrew Whitaker from Summit Legal Defenders. I'm joined here today by Scott Riley, our Deputy Director. You have our contract in front of you, and certainly I can answer any questions, but I thought I would highlight some of the changes that we have undergone. You've seen me for the last 5 years now come to council and present as our office continues to grow. We've continued to grow in staffing, but really importantly for you all in the scope of the work that we do. Just between last year and this year, we have opened an additional 1,500 cases, and that was 1,000 more than we had opened in 2023. We helped to bring in the juvenile court's first domestic violence diversion program there has ended successfully in conjunction with the judge and magistrate Alexander Walls, and that went very well. We worked with those individuals. We've also started representing individuals at arraignment in Stowe Municipal Court. And while that has led to a doubling of our caseload there, which led to an additional attorney in our request this year, that really means that there were many people going to pleas and sentencings in Stowe without counsel. And I think you'll see a long-term impact on a benefit for the county and reduced jail bed days, reduced time on probation. So we're excited about that opportunity as well. I wanted to focus a little bit on the work that our Clean Slate program has done with one of our attorneys, Russ Nichols. And we have taken over the management of the VALID Clinic, which is the driver's license improvement clinic at the Akron University Law School. Over the last 12 months, we have seen over 700 individuals and helped them with their driver's license. We have a number we're particularly proud of. We have filed 1,639 sealing and expungement cases over the last 12 months. And what that means, besides the joy and the fulfillment and the happiness it brings to the individuals, for you all to go back into the community and talk to your business owners. What this creates is valid drivers, people without records. That leads to better productivity, safer communities, because people with employment and increased employment opportunities have reduced recidivism. So these things really have a ripple effect in the community. So we're particularly excited about this program as it continues to grow. We've worked with the Juvenile Court twice, the Common Pleas Court twice, the Urban League twice, and Stowe Municipal Court once on sealing and expungement clinics, where we staffed those and those organizations ran them. Besides just the numbers that we do through the court, we work heavily with Judge McKinney and Barberton on these clinics, and they continue to be something that our staff is excited about, and I know the greater community has been excited to work with. So if there are any questions, I'm happy to answer them.
Do we have any questions from council? Andrea, I'll tell you, I've attended the expungement. It's, I believe, juvenile court, and I'll tell you what, it was tremendous what they did, and it's a great service. Thank you for the time.
It's really exciting for our lawyers to be involved with, because sometimes we're kind of running up against a brick wall day to day, but to be able to participate in this and give these people new leases on their future and their family's future is really rewarding for us as well. Thank you.
Thank you. Moving on, we have 2025359. Mr. Brian Harnack is here to address council.
Good evening, Brian Harnack, Executives Department of Law and Risk Management. This is an amendment to 17705, which is our advertisement for bids. This piece catches us up with where the state is at on their statute for county bid projects. It basically outlines that the county can use one of three methods to advertise, and it's going to save us some time and it's going to save us some money, because number 3 on there is on a website and social media account of the county, and that's really how we get almost all of our bids now anyway. So we have a lot of projects coming up after the first of the year that are going to be bid, and we got a special ask from the engineers and from budget and finance to get this on and get this ready for the new year. take any questions.
So I'm looking at Exhibit A.
Yeah.
Thank you. I'm looking at Exhibit A, and I'm seeing that several sentences are lined out.
Yes.
Okay, so that's basically the only, well, in a few words down in the second paragraph, these are the only changes? And with the exception of the addition of the sentences that are in bold following the sentences that have been, you're asking
Correct.
to have deleted.
Yeah, the bold is the new language that we're peeling off of this new state statute.
I don't see much difference between this or the old one, except for 2 weeks versus 1 week. Is that?
Yeah, and the sole requirement. So you only have to, you don't have to, but you can pick one of the three. So right now, if we wanted to, we pass this, we're able to put these bids on our website, advertise them there, and dispense with newspapers and other things that we would normally have to do under the previous version of the statute.
You're saying if we pass this, we don't have to use the newspaper anymore?
Correct. If we don't want to, we still can.
Uh-huh. And that would include does the legal news still cover,
Yes.
do a hard copy?
I think that we're doing the Akron Beacon Journal still, but it would be one or the other. Both of those are acceptable under our system right now.
And they wouldn't have to be under this new,
Correct.
Is that
It'd be
correct?
optional.
they'd be optional. And how much do we spend on advertising with the Beacon Journal every year?
Budget and finance?
I don't know when the last time we looked at that. Holly could tell you what they're spending. I will say this, when it, there are other things we are still required to advertise through the legal news or newspaper, not just bids. So a lot of what goes through the legal news is not these projects. It's a lot of the other legal requirements, like the foreclosure stuff, the posting.
That's a big
A lot of that
expense.
stuff still has to go. It's not affected by this. Heidi, if you have an answer on the Beacon
Yes, well, I
Journal.
know that our office spends, I budgeted, I believe, $8,500 for just advertising projects for this calendar year.
And you're asking for the engineer's office is asking for first reading passage on this evening? Is that what I'm
Yep,
hearing?
we very much support this.
Because a lot of bids go out in January.
Right. Well, we'll be back January, what, 4th or 5th?
Yeah.
We advertise on Bid Express, on ODOT. We have the VSS system that the county puts out there that notifies everybody who is part of whatever activity that we're advertising for. So they get notified so many other ways. I don't think anybody is even looking at the newspaper anymore to get their notifications.
It's just the way business is done these days.
Yeah.
That's too bad.
Yeah, so the rationale is for the change.
Well, the rationale for the change is also to copy what the state is doing to make us consistent with the state and to modernize. I mean, this is a more modern approach and reflects really the current business practices.
And do we feel like we are capturing all communities by taking this approach versus the other approach? So
We think so, just because of how contractors do business. They're going online and they're doing searches on these websites, and they can go on our website and see. Anyone can. I don't know how many people
Most of
look
these
at the-
contractors do get automatic notifications from these
Yeah.
online systems.
They sign up for them, don't they?
Yeah.
Right.
As much as I hate to say this, but the newspaper advertising is the most costly and least effective of all of these advertising methods.
My discussion with Budget and Finance is they don't even remember the last time they
Sorry, I can't-
saw a contractor come through the newspaper.
And when people do approach about asking for being a vendor for the county, the very first thing we tell them is to sign up on this VSS, make sure they have the right commodity code. So if they're providing cleaning services or It will know what service you provide, and it will automatically notify you if your bid's set up that way. It'll automatically notify you anytime there is a request put on there.
You can go
I
on
just
any
want- I
time.
want to make sure that we're expanding, not contracting the notice and the opportunity for folks to participate. So do you feel like we are expanding, or do you feel like we're contracting?
Oh, I don't think contracting is a word that we can use here.
Okay.
Just because of what we've seen and how business is done these days. It's really not cutting anyone out.
Okay.
Heidi, do we have to pay a fee for being on this service?
Yes, for every advertisement, we have to pay, it could be up to $500.
Up to 500?
Yeah,
Okay.
depending how many times it runs, how long the advertisement is, but yeah.
Yeah. I think this is the way to go. I can tell you, we just got a grant at Family Promise from Ohio Department of Development, and I had to post that we were getting funds from the Ohio Department of Development, and I had to pay $950 to put it in the Beacon Journal, and I'll guarantee you nobody saw it. So this is the best way to go.
I would tell you too, if we start seeing we're not getting bids, we're certainly going to revisit that. But
And it's still an option.
the main reason was just because the engineer's office in particular, and a little bit DSS, but primarily the engineer's office, they start putting bids out on their spring projects right after the first of the year. The other thing is just kind of from a more practical standpoint of it's the last meeting of the year, and that's why everything you see submitted here is being submitted first reading to get sign off, other than maybe the IT one. And I even asked the question about whether we should wait till January to put that in. It's just, it was to clean the slate of legislation off by the end of the year.
So you mentioned that at least a bid would be posted in at least one of these three ways.
Correct.
Is there one of the ways that you could say you probably will always post bids?
Oh,
You know?
number 3.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that would
website
be
and
a
social media
consistent way
accounts.
that people could look, or,
Yeah, easiest way for people to go on. Anyone can go on and do that.
okay.
So if I could just add to that, VSS has been referred to a couple times. That's our vendor self-service, which is in our Munis financial system. You can't even bid on one of our projects through the county through Munis without being in the vendor system. And if you're in there, you're going to get notified. So it's one of those things that it's just a redundant advertising, at least in my opinion. But I want to make sure council knew what VSS was. It's our vendor self-service.
And just, oh, sorry, go ahead. Just for a quick clarification, when you said the fee of $500, that's not for somebody to register on our VSS system, correct?
No,
No, that's free.
It's free
what
to
we
register
pay.
to get notified. It's what
That's
you
what-
pay to advertise on it.
We have to pay to get it in the ABJ.
Oh, and the ABJ is what you're talking about? Charlie?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
I want to make sure that people who wanted to bid on these contracts did not have to pay anything in order
Nope,
to
it
do
is
that.
completely free to sign up as a vendor.
Great, thank you.
No, I was just going to say, I feel like the newspaper is, and I don't have any link to it at all. I just feel like to set it this way, I feel like requires a little bit more discussion. That's just my thought. I don't understand this, and the fact that we are having these questions raised around it gives me pause to make sure that everyone is being notified and having an opportunity to participate. That's my only thing. So that's just my perspective.
You can still advertise in the Beacon Journal.
Absolutely. We can choose all 3 if we wanted to.
Like Dealer,
And-
New York Times.
But are we
Any mass publication.
Are we required to? How are we doing it? We're doing it through these methods.
Currently?
No, the proposal.
The proposal.
So how do we want to move this, how do we want to do it different than what we were doing in the past?
Well, I think, again, get to your point, I think that we're not going to, and I want to sit here and tell you
Yeah.
that we're going to publish an ABJ, because the point is, we don't want to publish an ABJ or some of these other expensive venues, because they don't produce, the juice is not worth the squeeze. It's just not.
Okay.
That's why we're doing this. And also, it saves time.
Do we have any further questions?
I'm good. No,
Thank you.
thank you.
Everybody's good? Okay, thank you. Next is 2025-360. Phil Montgomery to address council.
Thank you, Madam President. Phil Montgomery from the Executive's Department of Finance and Budget. We have before council the last appropriation legislation for this year. On page 1, these are the final appropriations for salaries and benefits to clean everything up for the end of the year. It is a net increase of $800,000, and I just want to point out to council that the largest portion of that is $700,000 to shore up the sheriff's overtime line item. So other than that, it's a nominal increase to clean up the end of the year. On page 2, you're going to see a $16 million appropriation. The revenue matches the transfer out. This is the end of the year where we take all of the money that we did better on than our original estimate, and we appropriate that revenue, and then also on the bottom line, we appropriate transfers out. Transfers out is the end of the year where we move to our capital project fund and any funds that are short or need an advance at the end of the year to make them whole and move through. So that's what that money is used for, but all that revenue is already in the bank and ready to go. We just need to appropriate it. The next one is an additional appropriation to our stop-loss benefits. This is part of our self-insurance fund. I've said the last couple rounds, we've been getting hit pretty hard, so we need that 1.65 to get through the end of the year to pay the rest of those bills out. The last one on that page is a net zero appropriation adjustment for the sheriff's office. The first item on page 3 is an appropriation increase for the community-based correctional facility at the women's facility roof. Council already approved this contract and this award. When it was originally appropriated, it wasn't appropriated at 100%, so this is the rest of it to match council's legislation for that project. The next one is a $300,000 increase in appropriation to the clerk of courts transfer out. That is an annual transfer out that we do from the title fund into the general fund as part of our year-end reconciliations. The last one on that page is an increase in appropriation for the Common Police Court Psychodiagnostic Clinic. That is just to catch up to an appropriation to match their budget. On page 4, we have a net zero appropriation for the CSCA administration to finish out the year. Next one is $2.5 million for Job and Family Services. This is what we estimate that we're going to need to finish out the year for all the transfers and trading of money and sending money to CSCA and sending money to CSB. This is just where we think we're going to end up to be able to do those year-end transfers and move things around. The last one on page 4 is a $12,000 appropriation for the fiscal office to look at their tax lien sale recording costs that go with that. We have a huge appropriation for the Domestic Relations Court of $600 for an Arts Now grant. On the prosecutor side, we have to add a little bit of appropriation for our direct indictment officer to finish up the year, and then the last one is an appropriation for the VAWA grant in the prosecutor's office as well. And on the last page, we have the allocation of the stormwater management district. So we had our first collections for the new district. This appropriates that revenue that was collected through the tax assessment and then also appropriates the expenditures. You can see the different list of project numbers. Those are all the localities that will receive their share of that district money. And the last one is appropriation for the DD board to cover encumbrance changes. And with that, I'd be happy to answer any questions. It was a small arts grant that was given to the Domestic Relations Court. It says Building Skills to Build Communities project. It was part of a project that's going to work with the magistrates and the social workers as part of their program. $600.
Do we have any questions? Thank you, Phil. We have, there is one late filing, 2025365. Nicole Quester is here to address council.
Thank you. Good evening. Nicole Quester, Common Pleas Court General Division. We are seeking a resolution authorizing the court to make additional expenditures for hospitality items incurred in 2025 for training, planning, and meetings. The court utilizes hospitality items for its juries, staff meetings, trainings and development, and other special projects of the court. We're seeking an amount not to exceed $22,000 for a total amount in 2025 not to exceed $42,000. Be happy to answer any questions.
Do we have any questions from council? Oh, Christine?
All right, just a question. So it's an additional 22,000 for this year? So
Yes.
through the end of this year? So there's
Yes.
more events and things that are going on between now and December 31st?
It's to
Or
make
there
those
already
expenditures.
Expenditures already made. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
No? Thank you. We have routine legislation found on pages 4 through 9. There are 5 second readings. There are no third readings. Please rise for the pledge led by Councilman Jeff Wilhite, followed by a moment of silence. Am I forgetting something? Roll call.
Mr. Smith.
Here.
Ms. Hyam.
Here.
Mr. Donofrio. Mr. Cajun. Ms. Dickinson.
Here.
Mr. Ford. Mr. Wilhite. Ms. Darrow.
Here.
Mr. Lacotte.
Here.
Ms. McKinney.
Here.
Ms. Walters.
May I have a motion to approve November 24, 2025 minutes, please? I have a motion. All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries.
First readings, 2025-354, a resolution authorizing the executive to enter into an intergovernmental agreement with the Summit County Combined General Health District, doing business as Summit County Public Health, concerning the performance of the National Pollutant Discharge Elimination System's Municipal Separate Storm Sewer System Minimum Permits Control Measure Number 3 activities for a 5-year term for the period of January 1, 2026 to December 31, 30, and in an amount not to exceed $180,234.17 for the engineer and the Surface Water Management District emergency.
Madam President, I move that we suspend the rules and adopt 2025-354.
I have a motion to suspend the rules and adopt 2025-354 on the suspension. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? And on the adoption, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
2025-355, a resolution authorizing the executive, subject to approval by the Board of Control, to execute a professional service agreement with Vantage Aging as a best practical source to provide meal delivery services to certain income-qualified residents for a 1-year term for the period of January 1, 2026 to December 31, 2026, with 4 options to renew for an additional 1-year term in an amount not to exceed $1,500,000 over the total contract period, including renewals for the Executive's Department of Community and Economic Development emergency.
I have a motion to suspend the rules and adopt 2025-355 on the suspension. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? And on the adoption, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
2025-356, a resolution authorizing the executive, subject to approval of the Board of Control, to execute a construction contract with the Murphy Contracting Company for the Ohio Building Elevator Project located in the city of Akron in Council District 4 and in an amount not to exceed $913,350 for the executive's Department of Administrative Services Physical Plants Emergency.
I have a motion to suspend the rules and adopt 2025-356 on the suspension. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? And on the adoption, all in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries.
2025-357, a resolution confirming the award by the Board of Control of a professional service contract with Inmate Calling Solutions Limited Liability Company doing business as IC Solutions for inmate pay telephone, video visitation, electronic communication, and off-site mail scanning services at the jail at no cost to the county for a 3-year term for the period from January 1, 26 to December 31, 28, with 3 options to renew for an additional 1-year term at a commission rate of 95% for phone and 50% for video visitation, with a guaranteed minimum annual commission of $800,000 to be paid to the county for the sheriff emergency.
Madam President, I move to suspend the rules and adopt 2025-357.
I have a motion to suspend the rules and adopt 2025-357 on the suspension. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? And on the adoption, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
2025-358, a resolution authorizing the executive, subject to approval by the Board of Control, to execute a professional service contract between the Legal Defender's Office of Summit County, Ohio, Incorporated, and the Summit County Public Defender Commission for legal defender services for indigent persons on behalf of the Summit County Public Defender Commission for a 1-year term for the period of January 1, 26 through December 31, 26, and in an amount not to exceed $7,283,062 for the executive and the Summit County Public Defender Commission emergency.
Madam President, I move to suspend the rules and adopt 2025-358.
I have a motion to suspend the rules and adopt 2025-358 on the suspension. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? And on the adoption, and all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
2025-359, an ordinance amending Section 177.05 of the Codified Ordinances of the County of Summit entitled Advertisement for Bids to expand the permitted types of advertisements as provided under Section 307.87 of the Ohio Revised Code for the Executive's Department of Law and Risk Management emergency.
I have a motion to suspend the rules and adopt 2025-359 on the suspension. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? And on the adoption, all in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries.
2025-360, a resolution appropriating funds in order to meet projected expenditures for the balance of 2025 as set forth in Exhibit A for the Executive's Department of Finance and Budget emergency.
Madam President, I move to suspend the rules and adopt 2025-360.
I have a motion to suspend the rules and adopt 2025-360 on the suspension. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? And on the adoption, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Oh. We get to that. Okay.
2025-361, a resolution authorizing the executive to advertise for bids for construction of Project Q1651, Akron-Cleveland Road Sanitary Sewer Extension, located in the city of Cuyahoga Falls and Boston Township in Council Districts 1, 2, and 3, for an amount not to exceed $3,794,222.72 that will be partially funded by American Rescue Plan Act funds and a loan from the Water Pollution Control Loan Fund for the Executive's Department of Sanitary Sewer Services Emergency. 2025-362, a resolution authorizing the executive to advertise for bids for the construction of Project Q186 elimination of Hudson Sanitary Sewer Overflow Area L, located in the city of Hudson in Council District 3, for an estimated total cost not to exceed $1,161,692.28 for the Executive's Department of Sanitary Sewer Services Emergency. 2025-363, a resolution authorizing the executive to execute a member community infrastructure grant program agreement with the Northeast Ohio Regional Sewer District in an amount not to exceed $600,000 with no local cash match requirement, and to authorize the executive to apply for and execute a Water Pollution Control Loan Fund loan agreement for a loan in an amount not to exceed $3 million to finance the engineering design and construction for Project Q186 elimination of Hudson Sanitary Sewer Overflow Area L, located in the city of Hudson in Council District 3 for the Executive's Department of Sanitary Sewer Services Emergency. 2025-364, a resolution approving and adopting the Summit County cybersecurity policy and confirming the applicability of confidentiality provisions under Section 9.64E of the Ohio Revised Code for the Office of Information Technology Emergency.
Madam President, I move to amend the agenda to include the late filing.
I have a motion to accept the late filing on 2025365. All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries.
Late filing, 2025-365, a resolution authorizing the Court of Common Pleas General Division to make additional expenditures in an amount not to exceed $22,000 for a total amount not to exceed $42,000 for hospitality items incurred in providing training, planning, and meetings held in 2025 for the Court of Common Pleas General Division Emergency.
Madam President, I move to suspend the rules and adopt the routine legislation found on pages 4 through 9.
Oh, wait,
After you vote on that, what she just read.
wait.
Before we do that, I would move to suspend the rules and adopt 2025.
Okay, thank you. I was going to say, okay, I have a motion to suspend the rules and adopt 2025365. All in favor? I mean, on the suspension, all in favor? Any opposed? And on the adoption, all in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries. Okay, now
What I said.
It's all good.
I gotta go find it, John. Wait a minute. You got my papers?
I'll say.
Never mind.
Thank you, John. He did it.
I know, but I still got to. I have a motion to suspend and adopt the routine legislation found on pages 4 through 9. On the suspension, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? And on the adoption, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Second readings, 2025-345, a resolution confirming the award by the Board of Control of a purchase contract with Tyler Technologies Incorporated as a best practical source to provide annual maintenance services for the countywide computer-aided dispatch and records management systems for a one-year term for the period January 1, 26 through December 31, 26, in an amount not to exceed $963,052.73 for the Executive's Department of Public Safety Emergency.
Madam President, I move to suspend the rules and adopt 2025-345.
I have a motion to suspend the rules and adopt 2025345. On the suspension, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? And on the adoption, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Abstain.
Motion carries. One abstain.
2025-346, a resolution authorizing the executive to execute a renewal, first of 4, of an intergovernmental agreement with the City of Akron for data hosting equipment and services for the computer-aided dispatch system for a one-year term for the period of January 1, 26 through December 31, 26, and in an amount not to exceed $160,680 for the Executive's Department of Public Safety Emergency.
Madam President, I move to suspend the rules and adopt 2025-346.
Yes. I have a motion to suspend the rules and adopt 2025-346 on the suspension. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? And on the adoption, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. He's
I got it. Thank you. 2025-347, a resolution authorizing the executive to execute an intergovernmental agreement with the City of Akron for co-ownership of the county-wide 800 megahertz radio system for a term of 5 years for the period of January 1, 25 through December 31, 30, with 2 options to renew for an additional 5-year term for the Executive's Department of Public Safety Emergency.
I have a motion to suspend the rules and adopt 2025-347 on the suspension. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? And on the adoption, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
2025-348, a resolution approving and adopting the 2026 operating budget for all funds, departments, and agencies of the County of Summit and appropriating funds as set forth in Exhibit A for the Executive's Department of Finance and Budget Emergency.
Madam President, I move to suspend the rules and adopt 2025-348.
I have a motion to suspend the rules and adopt 2025-348 on the suspension. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? And on the adoption, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
2025-349, a resolution approving and adopting the 2026 operating budget for the Executive's Department of Job and Family Services and appropriating funds as set forth in Exhibit A for the Executive's Department of Finance and Budget Emergency.
Madam President, move to suspend the rules and adopt 2025-349.
I have a motion to suspend the rules and adopt 2025-349 on the suspension. All in favor?
Aye.
Abstain.
Any opposed? You abstained, Mr. Wilhite. And on, okay, this is on the suspension, all in favor?
Aye.
Abstain.
Any opposed? And on the adoption, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Abstain.
Motion carries. Threw me off there, Jeff. And with that, if no further business, we are adjourned, correct? And happy holidays, everyone.
Yeah.
See you next year. Yes.